I'll never forgive my mom for leaving, but I finally understand why she did. The air in Atherton and Sons auctioneers always smelled of old money and hushed secrets. Polished marble floors, hushed conversations, and the gleam of priceless art under spotlights. For me, Maya Sharma, a low-level art history student interning here, it was a constant reminder of everything I didn't have. And every single day, it brought me back to her. My mother, Renuka. The woman who just vanished. I was 8 when she left. One morning, she simply wasn't there. No note, no goodbye, just an empty space where her laughter used to be. My dad told me she went to find herself, but all I heard was, "left us." For years, that abandonment festered, a cold knot in my stomach. How could a mother just abandon her child? It was a question that defined my entire existence, a wound that never quite healed. I hated her for it, for the gaping hole she left behind. But a part of me, a tiny, desperate part, always wondered why. One unusually busy Tuesday, the buzz around the auction house was electric. A last-minute addition to the Hidden Gems catalog, an uncredited painting, simply titled The Weaver. It depicted a woman, her back to the viewer, hunched over a loom, vibrant threads cascading like a waterfall. From the moment I saw it, something about the brushstrokes, the raw, almost desperate energy, snagged at me. It felt familiar, like a half-forgotten dream. Every brushstroke whispered a secret I was too young to hear. Mr. Julian Thorne, the head auctioneer, a man whose tailored suits were sharper than his wit, caught me staring. "Admiring our mystery piece, Miss Sharma?" A delightful enigma. Artist. Unknown, tragically. Likely just a gifted amateur. He said amateur with a dismissive flick of his wrist that felt like a personal insult, not just to the painting, but to anyone who dared create outside their hallowed circles. "No, sir," I managed, my voice firmer than I expected. "It's more than that. The technique? It's incredibly precise, yet so emotionally charged." He merely hummed, already moving on. My gut churned. Days turned into a feverish obsession. I'd sneak into the viewing room after hours, tracing the lines of The Weaver with my eyes. The color palette, the specific way the light played on the fabric, it was my mother's signature style. I remembered old sketchbooks she'd kept, filled with similar patterns, forgotten dreams. My mother had been an artist, a brilliant one, though her talent had been stifled by family expectations and the constant struggle to make ends meet. Could this be hers? The thought was both exhilarating and terrifying. Then, at the exclusive pre-auction gala, I saw her. Aunt Kavita. My mother's older sister, whom I hadn't seen since that fateful year. She stood by the buffet, her face etched with a lifetime of unspoken burdens. Her presence here, among Toronto's elite collectors, was as jarring as seeing a ghost. She was always the pragmatic one, the quiet keeper of family secrets. I approached her, my voice trembling. "Aunt Kavita? It's Maya." Her eyes widened, a flash of something akin to fear, then deep sorrow. "Maya, you've grown." Her voice was a fragile whisper. "Auntie," I pressed, glancing at The Weaver, which was now under intense scrutiny from potential bidders. "That painting, does it remind you of Mom?" Kavita's gaze darted to the painting, then back to me. Her jaw tightened. "Your mother? She had a gift, Maya. A gift the world never truly saw." "But this painting," I insisted, "it is hers, isn't it? Tell me, why is it here? Why is it uncredited? And why did she leave us, Auntie?" The words tumbled out, years of bottled-up pain. Finally breaking free, Kavita visibly recoiled, her hand gripping the edge of a nearby display table. "It's complicated, Maya. Some things are better left buried." "No," I pleaded, my voice rising just enough to draw a few curious glances. "Not anymore. I deserve to know. I've carried this for 20 years, Auntie. Tell me the truth about Renuka Sharma." Her eyes, full of a pain I was only just beginning to grasp, locked onto mine. She saw the raw desperation, the unyielding need for answers. A shudder ran through her, and I saw a silent decision being made. "All right, Maya," she said, her voice barely audible. "Tonight, after the auction, meet me outside. I'll tell you everything." The next evening, the main gallery of Atherton and Sons was packed, the air thick with anticipation. It was a live broadcast, screens flickering with bids from around the world. The Weaver was the penultimate lot. Mr. Thorne stood at the podium, his voice a smooth, practiced drone. "And now, lot 117, The Weaver. An exquisite piece by an unknown hand." We opened the bidding at $500,000. The bids started climbing, fast and furious. $600,000. $750,000. $1 million. Each number felt like a punch to my gut. This was my mother's work. Her forgotten genius. Just as a particularly aggressive bid came in, a hand gripped my arm. It was Aunt Kavita. Her eyes were red-rimmed, but resolute. "Maya," she whispered, "this isn't right. I can't let this happen." She tugged me towards the auction stage, her resolve hardening with every step. "Auntie, what are you doing?" I hissed, terrified of the scene she was about to cause. She didn't answer. Instead, as Mr. Thorne paused for breath, Kavita stepped forward, directly into the spotlight. The entire room fell silent. "Excuse me," she called out, her voice surprisingly strong, cutting through the hushed tension. "Before this masterpiece goes to an anonymous buyer, the world needs to know its true artist." Mr. Thorne, flustered, adjusted his glasses. "Madam, this is highly irregular. This painting's provenance is unclear." "Oh, it's very clear, Mr. Thorne." Kavita shot back, her gaze sweeping the stunned audience. "The artist is Renuka Sharma." She pointed to the painting. "And I am her sister. My sister, Renuka, poured her entire soul into this work. It was her legacy, her defiance against a life that tried to diminish her." She took a deep breath, her eyes finding mine in the crowd. 20 years ago, my family faced ruin. My parents had accumulated impossible debts, the kind that crushed generations. My sister, Renuka, she was the only one with a real talent, a genius that could have saved us. But the art world, this very world, wasn't ready for a woman like her. They dismissed her, undervalued her, or tried to exploit her. Tears streamed down Kavita's face. She painted the weaver not for glory, but out of desperation. A desperate hope for a future for her daughter, for Maya. She was forced into an impossible choice. Sell this painting, secretly, to cover our family's debts. And ensure Maya would have a chance at a life free of the same burdens. But to do so, to protect us from powerful, unforgiving people, she had to disappear. To become a ghost. She didn't abandon her child, she built her a bridge with the pieces of her own life. The revelation hung in the air, thick with shock and a dawning understanding. Gasps rippled through the audience. Journalists frantically scribbled notes. I stood there, rooted to the spot, tears blurring my vision. My mother, the believer, was a hero. A silent, sacrificial hero. Mr. Thorne, his face pale, cleared his throat. "Ladies and gentlemen, in light of this extraordinary revelation, and with the artist's identity now confirmed as the prodigious Renuka Sharma, we will reopen the bidding for The Weaver." The bidding recommenced, but this time, it was different. It wasn't just about art, it was about legacy, sacrifice, and a mother's fierce, unspoken love. The numbers soared, climbing past 2 million, then 3. When the hammer finally fell, The Weaver sold for a staggering $4.5 million, a record for an uncredited artist. Justice, in its own unexpected way, was served outside the auction house. The Toronto night was cool, but my heart felt warm. Aunt Kavita, exhausted but relieved, embraced me. "Forgiveness isn't about forgetting, it's about finally seeing," she whispered. "I had spent my entire life resenting her, carrying the weight of abandonment. But now, looking at the silent, illuminated gallery, at the place where my mother's truth was finally revealed, I understood. I may never fully forgive the pain of her absence, the years of yearning for a mother's embrace. But I finally understood why she did it. She hadn't left me. She had saved me. And that was a truth worth more than any masterpiece. My mother's legacy wasn't just in the paint on a canvas, it was in the unbreakable spirit she'd woven into my very being. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to smash that thumbs up and hit subscribe for more unforgettable, emotional, and viral true stories. We want to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell us, where in the world are you watching from?